That motion passes. Next up is CDSP 1911-14, authorized award of cost reimbursed not to exceed contract to Stop Petit Waste for $101,663 for the design and construction of oversight services for Pioneer Park bathhouse and maintenance building replacement projects, and authorize the board chair to sign.
So moved. Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions or discussion? Commissioner Hughes.
Is this for the construction too, or is this just for the blueprints?
This is for architecture and engineering for the blueprints
So
and
this is just, you
construction
got
oversight.
$100,000
It's
worth
for
of
two
blueprints?
buildings.
Aren't they gonna be identical?
No, they're not. One is a maintenance building and one is a bathhouse based on
Still
state.
$100,000 and you haven't even put a shovel in the ground yet?
I would like to defer to Steve Fink.
Our engineer.
Yeah, get him up here, will you?
He missed his tie.
Thanks, Bob.
Gratefully bows out for you.
Steve Fink, Public Works. This was a request for qualifications for architect engineer services, and it was set up to be 80% technical score, so firms were turning in their technical proposals on their qualifications. And then the ones that were in the competitive range were asked to turn in a cost proposal. And of the three that were in the competitive range, we had kind of a rarity here that the top scoring technical firm was also the lowest score in the cost proposal.
I just wondered why you didn't just go design build and eliminate this $100,000, put it towards the bathhouses.
Well, nothing gets designed for free, and this was a situation where we went with, or wanted firms that had experience in how to do a bathhouse appropriately. The particular firm that's proposed here has done the one at Grand Haven State Park at the Channel, and they currently have designed or overseen the construction of the two new bathhouses at Muskegon State Park.
I see that, but I don't see where they had done any county work, and I'm thinking that the state parks put a lot more money into theirs than we can afford to put into ours.
Well, actually, the state has adopted a bathhouse model that is less expensive in the past. If you go to Hoffmaster or some of the others that have been built in the last decade, you will see Italian tile on the floor or walls, certain other things that were expensive. And they have actually gone to a model that is less expensive, and Straub Petit Yates is one of the firms that has done that newer model. So their specifications are largely developed, and that's one of the things that's actually quite attractive, is to take advantage of knowledge they've gained on other projects for the state that can be utilized for this bathhouse.
It just seemed like $101,000 was an awful lot for design work in a bathhouse.
Well, it's for the maintenance building too.
Okay,
So it's for two structures.
how big is the maintenance building?
Pardon?
How big is the maintenance building?
I think it was based on about 60 by 100. The Parks Department gave certain criteria that they wanted in the size for the bathhouse and the maintenance building. And in the end, you know, the designer will design whatever they feel that the parks can accommodate and afford. So, you know, we're kind of starting with a clean slate, but we gave them a proposed size of building, 3 overhead door bays for the maintenance building. They had a floor plan that they liked that was developed about 12 years ago, that the architect, whoever it would be, would utilize that as a starting point. So we gave each of these firms some basic parameters to build their proposals on, and what it will finally take to design and come out and oversee the construction, review the submittals and such. You know, we don't know. We hope it will be less than this amount, but that's why it's structured as a not to exceed amount.
So it's
Commissioner Hubby Wright.
yeah, it's more than just designing it, it's overseeing the construction, which is a lot more.
Yeah, they would help out with all the permitting, because even though this isn't a state bathhouse, you still have to get a state permit to construct. And so we wanted a firm that had experience with all the aspects of, you know, building in a, you know, environmentally sensitive environment, the state permits to construct, what it'll
Do we
take.
have the money to cover this?
Bob, would you like to answer that one?
I can answer that one. At this point, there is about $500,000 in the parks reserves. What we're anticipating is taking out a loan for a portion of the funds. We estimate both projects to be in the neighborhood of between $800,000 and $1 million.
Both projects, you mean 800,000?
Both of them together.
Okay. So that should be a
Commissioners.
total.
Yes.
Snyder.
Including this?
No.
So you're talking $1 million for a new bathhouse and a new garage?
Between 800 and $1 million.
Okay.
Commissioner Snyder.
Well, I wonder if we ought to go back and increase the rates per night to a greater degree than we just did.
Commissioner Larry.
I'm not looking for the exact date, but do you remember approximately when the board approved this to go out for this proposal?
I don't recall off the top of my head.
Was it this year? I don't remember this coming out in front of the board for this project.
This is just for the RFQ. You know, these are the results from the RFQ, and
So
it
the
was.
board had to approve that though, for you to send out a proposal?
Yes, I don't recall the date, Commissioner. I'd have to go back and look. I know it was approved. It may have even been last year.
Okay, and the board knew that we were talking about $1 million project last year when they approved
I
it?
presume they did. We had some estimates, you know, that we had heard from the state park. The state park bathhouses were in that neighborhood, but actually I think now they're coming in less than that. You know, because what we're getting here are 2 buildings for that price. So the state park buildings are considerably less than $1 million now at this point.
We also have to remember that we did an approval about future projects, and we did that some time ago too, and that included everything in the county, just about, including parks, and some of these things are outlined in different details,
Yes.
but we did approve it some time ago, but now we're doing some finalization on actually going through with some.
Right, a portion of the funding for this, this item, $56,000 of it is from an earlier capital improvement bond from 2015. So we're using the funding from that to help pay for this, this proposal, or these proposals.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes.
I have not been to either one of these parks, excuse me, but I'm assuming that they at least, but they're not condemned buildings, or
They're beyond their useful life.
Right, I understand that, but that can mean a lot of different things to a lot of people. But they are in use, or they were in use this season?
They were,
Okay.
and they will next year. Construction, if everything goes as planned, construction would start next fall, after the camping season is complete. The biggest comment that we hear from campers at Pioneer Park is we need a new bathhouse. This has been something we've been talking about for 10 years, and it's time to pull the trigger.
And I do recall too, we did get a report back from the parks on that before, because there was some surveys that were done.
Mhm.
And I remember that information specifically was brought back, that bathhouses were one of the biggest issues. And I think it could be nice for the parks, because even though we're slowly increasing, putting in a new bathhouse is actually probably gonna continue our services and maybe even increase it.
I think we're full all the time though, aren't we?
I'm sorry?
Aren't we full almost all the time?
A good portion of the time,
It's
yes.
not gonna increase
Yeah.
upkeep.
This also includes the removal of a small bathroom and the current bathhouse too. And that would be rolled into the price.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I did go out to the park this summer on a bike ride, and everything he's saying is correct. These need to be replaced. They are beyond repair.
$1 million worth.
It's, I don't know what a bathhouse
It's too
costs,
big.
don't get me wrong.
Seems like a lot for.
It does seem like a
Yeah.
lot for a bathhouse.
But the one that's out there would make you want to shower in your camper.
Bathrooms aren't cheap, unfortunately.
So, one more question.
Commissioner Larry.
What percentage of these parks are used by Muskegon residents versus out of county? Do you track those numbers at all?
I would have to go back and ask the staff for that. I believe they do have zip codes. A good percentage of the visitors are from out of county, and that's those are the visitors that we want. We want to bring people into the county who tend to spend their money more than local residents who sometimes will camp out at the parks and then go home for dinner even.
Yeah.
So the more we get out-of-town visitors, the better economic benefits we have countywide, really, from people coming into the county and spending their time and money here.
Commissioner Nash, can I say one thing on that?
Commissioner Hughes.
Yeah, I'd like to follow up on that. When we first changed things around where they could book online, I had quite a few people tell me that they were really upset with that because they couldn't get their camping spot because we were really booked out. And then a year later, I heard from them again, and they said, we found another camp, we went to Minor Park, or we went to this one, and they loved the quaintness of the little ones, and they were really at Pioneer all the time. So I don't think we lost our local people. I think they just moved to other parks that they didn't even know we had. So.
Well, and many of the local people still do patronize
Yeah,
our parks.
some of-
Oh,
yeah,
many
they
of
do,
them do.
but they go to a lot of the little ones where
They do.
they've never been before, so we didn't really lose them, we just kind of moved them around, which was a good thing, I think.
Right.
All right, are we ready to vote? All those in favor, use your vote to say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
One no. That motion passes. Next up is old business. Any old business coming for this committee?